Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, October 4th, and this year's flying by. At 6:20 right now, market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we can get started shortly. So a few things to fix over here real quick with regard to the settings. And once I got all this stuff set up, we can get started with our analysis for today. Couple more things here. That looks good. Let's get there. All right, solid. And I think we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, link sent out. Looks like we are good to go for today. So let me post this up right here. Solid. Give it a few minutes for people to make their way in. And as people start to join, I'm going to go ahead and mark up the K2 SR zones over here on my chart. A lot of these are kind of bunched up over here. Shouldn't be a problem though. Gonna make a small adjustment with this one. Extend it out a little bit. All right, cool. See who's here. Hey, Vlad, morning. All right, so I've drawn up the K2SR zones right here. Next up, I'm gonna check out the news real quick. So we had news over here. Today's Tuesday, August 4th. We had Fed member Williams speaking at 6, Fed member Messer speaking at 6:15. I'm not gonna mark those up because we can't really gauge, exactly where the movement happened there, because not much really happened here. There wasn't too much movement. I'm gonna mark up actual news though. So JOLTS job opening 7 o'clock. We have news coming up at 7 over here. It's high impact. This is going to indicate how many job openings there are here in the US. Next up, we have Fed member Jefferson speaking at 8. So that's pretty much all that we have for today. Not really too much here to worry about. I'm gonna adjust the zone right here a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for now with regard to the news. Looks like a couple of these zones keep expanding slightly, which is fine. It'll provide us more opportunities to take entries. Looking over here at the sessions is pretty far. This is the only session that's nearby. The rest of the sessions are actually really low. So price looks super overextended for a bullish push and might be dropping down lower as we continue to, obviously move along. But we'll see where price goes as we continue on with the session. Other than that, let's take a look at the overall bias. So overall bias for today is currently 60% long with regard to retail sentiment. So that's indicating that 60% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and sell. Looking over here at the fundamentals, are currently up 349 points. So with that said, this is again counterproductive because this is indicating to take a buy while this is indicating to take a sell. Looking over here at the heat map, it's pretty much all green for today since the index is so strong. Yeah, it's literally all green today. Looking over here at this hasn't updated yet. But yeah, the fundamentals are currently very green. With that said, we don't have a strong overall bias at all. Fundamentals are telling us to take a buy. That's going to be like medium bias. Long-term bias is going to be a sell. Short-term bias right here is also a sell. You can see prices below the pivots, trend meter red. So we're probably going to be looking for sells today. It's just going to be a matter of time until we can confirm everything and actually look for entries here. But if we do get a sell signal here, we can possibly look for a wick rejection off any of the structure to take a possible entry there. So with that said, I'm going to go here to the clean chart. I'm going to mark up the high lows here so that we can identify market structure and really see where price is currently going at the moment. So realistically, looking at price right now, I'm gonna mark up the times here as well so that we can identify market open. Just identify market direction for the day. So right now, price is realistically just ranging. So you can kind of see it right here a little better. It's in range right now. And we'll see where this ends up going. So the range right here, you can kind of see is from this high to this low right here. It's a pretty big range. Until price breaks out of that range, obviously we're looking for certain things in the market. Let me go over here to London. So London was actually very bullish. It's bullish, consolidated, retraced back down, and then a continuation back to the upside. And then a lot of choppiness right here. So let's see if price continues to be directional like it was yesterday. You're on the open market. It's going to open in about 3 minutes. So we'll see if it continues to push. If it does, great. If it doesn't, it's fine. We will continue to look at these ranges until it does officially shift to a direction. So here goes. Price continues to move sideways. Here is the 1 minute chart. I want to make a small adjustment right here. Drop this a little lower. So a little higher. All right. So I think the zones here are pretty much good for the most part. I don't really see much of an issue here. Looking at price currently, it's still in a downtrend on the short term. So it's going in direction with the long-term bias. Medium bias for the fundamentals are still bullish. So we'll see what happens when the market opens here in the next 2 minutes or so. 1 minute, actually. So let's see who else is here. Morning, Marco. Morning, Søren. Morning, Eunice. Morning, Peter. Morning, Maria. Morning, Patrick. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Jonathan. Morning, Al. Morning, everybody. So today is Tuesday, October 4th. It is 6:29 right now. Market's going to open in about a minute. Morning, Maddie. As we look at the overall bias, long-term bias for retail sentiment is currently a sell, 60% long. Medium bias fundamentals are currently bullish. They're up 377 points. Short-term bias here is bearish. As you can see, prices below the pivots, trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down and the red pivot is over the green. So we'll be looking for any possible entries here as price continues to move along. But at the moment, we don't have anything right now. So we're looking for a wick rejection off structure. Well, not anymore. The trend meter is now blue and it's now green. So we might be looking for buys here. All right, so price is pushing up right here. This is the opening candle. Right here, huge, huge push to the upside. This would technically, it looks like it could have been a SR rejection entry, but candle is just way too big. obviously. Wick rejection off structure, huge manipulation right here on opens. That's why you guys want to be very careful about trading on open. This pushed up about 500 pips almost. So there's opening price right there. Whereas price comes back down. Huge manipulation right here on open. This is why you never want to trade on open. If you don't, like, if you're looking at a trade right before market opens, you want to be super careful because you might get caught in something like this. You definitely want to hold off on taking anything here. The market's just moving a little crazy right here on open. It's going to smoothen out. Once it levels out and it starts moving all crazy like this, you can start looking for entries. But right now, definitely want to chill out for a bit. Both of these candles here are moving pretty heavily. Yeah, so huge spike right here on open. About 600 pips. There you go. As price pushes a bit higher, that's completely fine. Price can continue to push up higher if it wants to. We just need to identify an area where price stabilizes. Look for that wick rejection, possibly continue riding it. So price over here basically faked out outside of the zone, out of this range, and then it just continued to push. So we have a wick rejection off here with this buy signal. I think the stop loss might be too big for K2SR. Actually, it's not too bad, but it needs to close as a moderate green candle. So if this closes as a moderate green candle, actually, never mind, the candle is just way too big. So again, we're going to have to wait, guys. Price, you can see how huge this candle is compared to the others. It's not a candle you want to enter on because this might just retrace right back down and swing right back to opening price. So I don't recommend following any of these candles right here at all. If this closes as a strong green candle with the buy signal, this would technically be the breakout, but I'm obviously not looking to take it. It's just too highly manipulated for me to take this trade here, but this would technically be the breakout right here. Trend meter is green, price is above the pivots, buy signal right here, strong green candle. And there it goes, it pushes up. Yeah, Maddie said pivots lining up, looks good, but he's gonna sit. Yeah, I'm gonna sit too. Patrick said no momentum signal though. Yeah, the momentum signal just came up right now in this candle right here. So this, I see your message was at 6:30, Pat. So that was before. This would be the breakout, and this technically could have been the K2SR rejection, but this candle is just too big, so it wouldn't fit the criteria. So again, this would be the breakout. I'm following it. I'm not taking it, but I'm following it. Yeah, I'm not going to FOMO into this. I'm like getting so much FOMO right now where I want to catch at least 100 pips of this, because if this does push up higher, you know, I can easily catch at least 100 pips of this, but I'm not going to FOMO into it. I'm just going to let this play out because this movement here is just way too big. It looks like it's due for retracement, right? Last thing I want to do is enter a trade, and then I end up getting caught in this retracement here. So not to say that it's not going to hit TP, but it might retrace back a little bit before it does. So it might pull back a little bit if that's the case. And my stop loss is tight, like 300 pips. I can easily get stopped out. It pulls back to opening price right here. So you just got to weigh the pros and cons. Whenever you guys take a trade, you got to analyze for like worst case scenario, best case scenario. Best case scenario here is price goes straight to TP, hits TP and great, right? Worst case scenario is price comes back and retraces to opening price, stops you out, pushes up higher, then hits your TP. So looks like it's going to hit, but I'm not going to take it, obviously. There we go. Just this is for documentation purposes, the breakouts. So this would be the breakout right here. Full TP. So if you guys caught it, great. If you guys took partials, great. If you got any profit out of this, great. I didn't take this trade at all. I don't want to risk it. It's not worth the risk, especially on my end. But this would be the breakout. So if this becomes the norm here and it continues to push in one direction, then market is going to start moving directional. It pretty much knocked out all of the liquidity up here. So pushed up, hit liquidity, pushed up higher, hit liquidity, pushed up even higher from there, and knocked out the last level of liquidity right there. So not bad. Played out pretty solid. No mark of opening price here as well so that we can identify where the back to return would happen if and when it does happen. So opening price will be right there. Just keep an eye out for it. There goes, price pushes up higher. Zone right there is gone. Zone's down here, okay. All right. So what I'm gonna have to do here again is I'm gonna have to go in the higher time frames because there are no zones anywhere nearby. I'm gonna color this blue, but you guys can know that this is a higher time frame zone. So that's as high as the zones go. There's no any other zones that are higher than this. Yeah, so price is in new territory right here. This is gonna be the 5-minute zone. Wick on top's too big, so you can't take this for an entry. Wick on top's 150 pips. Body is only 90 pips. There he goes. Price retraces it down a little bit. It's due for some retracement, so wait for it to pull back a little bit. Let's take a look at the sentiment real quick and see where it's at. Currently, sentiment is 60% long. Maria's asking if this is a double body. So yes, this is a double body right here. This is a reversal pattern. You have a high double body. Price may be coming down. However, this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come down because the trend meter is still green. Price is above the pivots. Pivots are angling up. Green's over red. So it's still in a highly bullish trend, Maria. So yes, it is a double body, which can possibly lead to a reversal, but you're going to be going against the trend if you take a trade like that. So I wouldn't necessarily look for an entry off that. If I see a variation back to the upside, then, you know, possibly, but this right here is just going against such a strong trend. I know this was probably like a manipulated push to the upside, but either way, the trend here is just way too strong. We have the short-term trend here. We have the medium trend with the fundamentals over here, which are currently also bullish. They're up almost 500 points. And then lastly, the heat map here is super green. The only thing that's red right now is going to be the long-term bias, but this is also shifting as well. So this would be one of, yeah, Patrick just said this is one of Maddie's continuation, which I agree. However, this candle is just too big. So double body right here for a continuation pattern. It's the same thing that we just saw. So this was a reversal pattern, and this was just a continuation. So basically, reversal and then correction, continuation back to the upside. This would be one that would fit under Maddie's criteria. However, the candle is just too big, so I would have had to skip it, and it did hit full TP right there. Yeah, definitely spot on, Patrick. Yeah, it was just a little too big. If this candle here wasn't that huge, then I probably would have hopped into it. But right now, it's just too much of a risk. So with the price moving like this, we can possibly take continuation entries and possibly even variations. If we get variations to the upside, possibly. And it looks like price is now moving directional. All right, this is a very directional push. So this is what we've been waiting for pretty much all summer. We're waiting for price to do this. It was just like this yesterday. Price faked out down slightly, and then it swung all the way up. Retracement, continuation, and further push. So we do have a bit of a directional market here. We'll start to ease in on some variation entries, some continuation entries. and still look at these K2SR rejections. So looking at this right here, there was a wick rejection again off the structure. This would technically be a K2SR rejection, but the problem with this is that the candle was too big. So we couldn't have taken it right away, or we could have waited for it and pulled in later. But at that point, it already would have hit TP. So as you guys can see, market is starting to move directional. We've been waiting pretty much all year for this post summer. Let me check the 3-minute real quick. Three-minute. So if we get a sell signal at any point here on the 3-minute, this would technically be a counter trend trade. Same with 5-minute over here. Actually, the 5-minute provided a buy signal right there, and it already played out. So this one already hit full TP on the 5. The 10-minute over here. No, it should have to be the one after. And I was going to hop back into XRP yesterday, but price never came back down to this area. I was waiting for the price to come back to this area, retest, and take my buy from there. I'll keep checking on it. Anyways, back to US30. Here we see price is now starting to retrace back down. Yeah, Maddie said, I think retail is waiting for the 7 a.m. news. And I agree too. This is going to be high impact right here. Retail is not really moving too much in the market. It's at 59%. People are just pulling out. So it hasn't changed too much. There's another continuation right here, Maddie. I don't know if you're looking to take it. It's kind of overextended a bit, so it might be a bit risky. About 30 seconds. Let's see. It's kind of a weak candle too. Yeah, Maddie said overextended, probably gonna hit, but he's gonna play it safe. Yeah, no, that's cool, Maddie. I'm probably gonna do the same. I'm not gonna take this trade. We'll follow it. This is a continuation entry following what Maddie applies. Basically a double body right here. Indicating that price is going to continue, and full TP right there as well. So if you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. I didn't take it either. So it's not going to count towards the trades. Yeah, Maddie also confirmed that it's Trap Tuesday. So looks good. I mean, if price continues to move this way, then we can start looking for these continuation entries. Start looking for variations, continuation entries. I can't remember whatever strategies we supply as well. High-low scalps. Maybe not high-low scalps, but probably triple confluences. So we'll ease into it. We'll start with like variations and these continuation entries. And then if the market continues to move this way, then we can start looking for daily entries, start looking for high-low scalps, pivot scalps, etc. There's a pivot scalp right here, also intraday entry. This is actually a triple confluence too. I just noticed it right here. So this candle right here was triple confluence entry, full TP. Continuation right here, full TP. Yeah, it's not bad. So we'll keep following along. It doesn't look like we're going to get any of these K2SR rejection entries anytime soon because of the way that price is moving. I don't see any other zones around this area. I went all the way up to the 1 hour. There's still no zones around that area. 4 hour zone's like way too high. There's actually a 2 hour zone right here, I guess. We'll just use it for reference. Yeah, there were a couple entries right here as well. It's like this one right here. I'm gonna buy. Obviously would have been a full TP. Another one right here looks like another full TP there too. So the danger about using these zones that are on the higher time frames is that it's such a wider time frame. Like this is a 2-hour time frame, this zone right here, and we're trading on the 1 minute. So this zone here might be just too big of an area to be trading within. Spread right now is 180, so it's not too bad. But we will see where this goes. Units that I think many long-term investors take the opportunity to buy when US30 is down. Yeah, that's what they call buying the dip units. So like whenever price dips below, they buy and they expect it to go up higher. The thing here with US30 that's kind of weird, I mean, this is kind of similar to what was happening during COVID, is that price shouldn't really be going up like that, right? Like it's going up so heavily. But the thing is, we are in a recession, so there's no reason for it to really recover. If you look here on the 4-hour time frame, it's not really a big push. It just looks like it's a big push on the shorter time frame because price has been dropping since August. So price has been in a strong downtrend since, I mean, if you look on the higher time frame, so you can see right here where it started to drop. Price actually has been dropping since January. So from January 5th, price has been in a strong downtrend ever since. Price hit an all-time low right here. Now it's just recovering up slightly, but eventually, you know, price is likely to come right back down. So I see this all as temporary as price pushes up here, but I don't really see it holding for very long. So we'll keep following and see if we can find anything here. If we see any continuations, possibly. What I'm looking for the continuation is that if price doesn't reach a new high. So if, say we get a continuation down here, but our TP is within this, you know, little range or wherever price is currently at, and it doesn't extend past this area, then I'm fine with taking the entry here. So like price pushes down right here, provides a double body, then I would take it for a buy there. But yeah, so for right now, I'm looking for these K2 SR rejections, and I'm also looking for a couple variations if they're going the direction of the trend. And possibly a continuation entry if we could find that as well. So those are the main things I'm looking for right now, guys. Main reason I'm looking for those types of entries is because price is obviously moving directional here, right? It's a clear example here of what we've been waiting for. Price pushed up, retraced, continuation, retracement, continuation, retracement. Once we get that retracement, continuation even further, right? So we'll see. I think I feel like they're getting propped up because of the JOLTS job openings. News is coming up at 7, so at 7 o'clock, this is probably going to come down pretty heavily based off the news. Or I don't know. We'll see. If the news is negative, it might do the opposite, continue pushing up higher. JS is asking, would that have been a valid snipe on the 930 candle? Or no, because opening candle. So we don't take any trades off opening. So it would, you know, short answer to your question is no, I personally wouldn't have taken it. I mean, you can take it. I've seen people take opening candles all the time. But from my perspective, I find it too risky because obviously you saw what happened on open. Price pushed up like way too high, right? So if you look over here on the 10-minute, also this candle is too big. So you wouldn't have been able to take it. Your stop loss would have been 500 pips. This candle would have engulfed the entire stop loss. So a lot of reasons why you wouldn't have taken it. Candle just way too big. If it retraces even halfway, it stop you out before it pushes up. So for one, I wouldn't take it because it's on open. I've seen a lot of people take trades on open and it does play out just like it did right here. However, the main red flag here is that the candle is too big. So if it does retrace down to the halfway mark at the very minimum, could stop you out before it pushes up and hits your TP. So yeah, I wouldn't take the trade there for those reasons. All right, so price is still pushing up. I mean, it's crazy how far it's pushing up right here. I mean, measure it. I guess it's not that far. It looks like it's been pushing up super heavy, but it's only pushed up 1,200 pips. So it could have pushed up a lot higher, but I mean, it's where it's at right now. So we are still looking for this to either retrace, provide us a continuation entry, or I mean, anything else really. There's no other zones around this area. I'm gonna have to go on the nothing on the 4-hour. There's a big zone here on the 8-hour, but I don't want to use it. It's just too big of a zone. Yeah, there's literally no zones around these areas. Let's take a look at the news over here. Stocks rise as investors build on Monday's rally. All right, so it looks like no sign that the bear bottom is in. Yeah, so 32 minutes ago, they mentioned that no sign that the bear bottom is in. Data Tricolis has said. So they don't expect this to be the bottom. They expect price to come back down, as you guys can see right here. That's why you want to be very careful about taking these buys here, because a lot of this stuff is being manipulation. It's a lot of manipulation. You can see here that they reported price is going to go up. They're just adding on to those buys. The thing with this here is that these are like market makers and institutions, right? When they mention investors, they're not talking about the retail trader, because the retail traders here are actually dropping. They're at 70% on Monday. They actually pulled out like before that big push even happened, and now it's at 58%. So just be a little careful with these entries here. It looks like price is starting to level out. It's going to go sideways for a bit, probably until news. You got the news event coming up right here. 7 o'clock, JOLTS job openings. So they are predicting it to be negative news, which is also what I'm predicting as well. They're forecasting it to be less. So last month, JOLTS job openings was at 11.24 million. They are anticipating it to be 11.7 million, 11.07 million for this month. You know, as we get deeper and deeper into the recession, more people are going to lose their jobs. There's going to be less places hiring. The economy is not getting better. So we'll see where this goes. Let's see. Patrick's taking 1 minute entries off a higher time frame. SR zone feels too risky for me. A small amount of pullback on a higher time frame candle can easily hit a 300 pip stop loss on a 1 minute. Scares me. Yeah, no, and I agree too, Patrick. That's why I don't typically use it. I only put it on here when it's like absolutely necessary. Like right now, it's necessary because there's no other zones up here. So there's nothing for us to take at the moment with regard to the K2 SR. So that's why we're kind of we're yielding to like the continuation entries and these variations. The thing that you want to be careful with these continuation entries though is that you might get some that are just going to be so out of the park, right? Like right here, if we were to get a continuation that was like way up here, I wouldn't want to take it. I like taking continuations when there's a gap in between. So say, for example, price pulls back a little bit, and then you have this gap right here, right? This gap is cool enough to catch your 100 pips within it. So if you're going for 100 pips within this little gap, it's easy for you to hit their TP before it pulls down. So that's the only time I typically like taking continuations, when there's room for me to actually hit my profit. So here goes, price starts to swing down a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Patrick said, yep, don't want to rely on a continuation to hit a new high. I agree. No, definitely. And that's another reason why I'm a little bit iffy with the high-low scalps. That's why I don't take high-low scalps by themselves. I take them when they're like a triple confluence, because you have other confluences that are indicating price can keep pushing. But if it's just a high-low scalp on its own, it's super risky because it could be a fake out. All right, so price is starting to range over here, it looks like. I'll leave the zone up until we get something new. I don't think we have anything right now. Yeah, so I'll keep changing between the higher time frames to see if anything's updated, but I don't think we're gonna get anything anytime soon. We also have news coming up here in about 6 minutes, so we're probably gonna have to wait until news passes. When news does come out, we're probably gonna see a spike to the downside or spike to the upside. With news being negative, or with it possibly being negative, price is probably gonna keep pushing up even higher, which is ironic because that's basically what's been happening all week, all month, all year. You see negative news, price goes up. You see positive news, price goes down. So we'll see about that. Yeah, it looks like price is just going to consolidate around this area right here until news comes out. As you guys can see, consolidation right there. We're going to mark it up on the clean chart as well. And this is just about playing it safe, guys, right? So, you know, it sucks that I have to remind you guys, but the main thing that you have to focus on, guys, is not losing, right? Like, you have to be able to accept your losses and avoid losses as much as possible, opposed to winning, because it's easy for someone to win at trading. Bouncing back from a loss or avoiding loss is really what everyone's problem is, right? Because I've seen a lot of people post profits and they do really well, like for a week, and they get too big headed and they start to take every single trade, and they stop, you know, their analysis and the trade psychology goes out the window. It's easy to pass your challenge in one day, but staying funded and even passing your verification is probably more difficult. Like I think that the first phase of any challenge is easy because you guys can easily get lucky and just pass it right away. But I see a lot of people that get to the verification, they're away like maybe $50 and they blow it because they want to pass in like one day. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like right now, you're working on your discipline to not FOMO into trades because there's opportunities here to take trades as we've seen, but we pretty much sat back because they look like risky entries. So just keep that in mind, guys, when you guys are looking at these entries here. Like as you can see, price is currently ranging around this area. You might get a triple confluence right here, but price is coming really close to news at 7 o'clock, so I'm going to hold off on it. We do have a pending buy signal right here. If price does close above this high low or this higher high right here, this could technically be a triple confluence. Not one I'd possibly take because news is so close, but one that's probably going to play out. So we'll see if it plays out here. I'll mark it up if it does close, but I'm not going to take it because it's so close to news price. Last thing you want to do is get caught in a consolidation phase right here. And then as soon as it hits 7, it just spikes, right? So if this closes with a buy signal, this would technically be a triple confluence entry. So I'll follow it. I'm not going to take it, but I'll follow it. Candle is too big as well. The candle right here is too big. So even if this was to close properly without news, we wouldn't be able to take it because this is a huge red flag. If price does retrace down, it could likely hit your stop loss before it hits your TP. So we're not in this position right here, guys. I'm just following it as a continuation or as a triple confluence, but the problem is that the candle is too big. So the possibility of it swinging back down and hit stop loss is very likely before it pushes up and hits TP. All right, 6:58. News is coming up in about a minute and 10 seconds. All right, I'm gonna take this off so that you guys don't think that we're in a position, but we'll still be looking at it mentally. I just don't want you guys to hop into a trade here, think that we're looking for a late entry and then hop in right before the news candle right here. So let's put it back on the chart real quick. And you can see that that triple confluence did hit full TP right there. So if you guys took it, great. You know, just a reminder, guys, you guys can take these trades. Just because I'm not taking them doesn't mean that you can't. I'm just not taking them because I don't find them to be quality trades. I think they're risky, but they're applying the strategies that we do apply here. One of the main things that I was worried about taking this triple confluence was that the candle was too big, and also that we had news coming up here at 7. If we didn't have news and the candle wasn't this big, if it closed somewhere half size, I would have taken it. But right now, definitely not taking that risk as we have news coming up in the next 10 seconds. And it's high impact news. It's not some random news event. It's JOLTS job openings indicating how many jobs are open here in the US. So here goes news candle right there. See what news is. I'm going to mark up the news price. This is 7 a.m. Openings negative. Thanks, Peter. So the news was negative, and you can see price doing the opposite and pushing up higher. Typical. So let's refresh this real quick. Thanks, Peter, for the update. And it was actually a lot less. So there's a lot less jobs in the market right now, but for whatever reason, US30 is still pushing up, right? So last month, there were 11.24 million jobs available. This month, they were only forecasting it to be less 0.20 million. It's actually down 1 million. So there's 1 million less jobs available now. So people just aren't hiring. We're going into this recession. People are saving money. It went from 11 million to now 10 million. Huge drop. More than a million, actually. It's 1.20 million. So, but for whatever reason, price is still going up. So don't follow the news. And Deshaun said, but Joe Biden said, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, just looking at how the market reacts to these things, it just doesn't make sense with the fundamentals, right? I mean, maybe those jobs aren't like the jobs that are within US30, but in general, I mean, the economy is not necessarily doing that great. So we'll see. I mean, everything here is pretty much green. The entire stock index is green, so I can't blame the price for not going up, but it's just crazy to see this happen with the market. It's all good though. I mean, it doesn't really affect us. I mean, it's just it's crazy thinking of it from a long-term perspective, because we're looking at the economy, since most of us do live here in the US. So living here in the US, you see the stock market just keep, climbing. But we're technically in a recession. So, and interest rates are still high. The Fed also spoke today. I'm not sure what the Fed spoke about today, but I'm assuming they had good things to say, because this morning Fed member Williams spoke, Fed member Mester, and then again later today we have Fed member Jefferson speaking. There's a lot of Fed members speaking this week, discussing, the economy, inflation, the depression that's possibly going to be coming, or that's already here. Like, I can't think of any good things that they have to say about the economy aside from them capping the interest rates, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. We're still in a huge deficit. Like, let me see. So just looking over here, I just Googled US budget deficit. It says Congressional Budget Office estimates the federal government ran a deficit of 217 billion, that's with a B, in August 2022. So it's the economy is definitely not doing good right now, but I mean, who cares, right? For us traders, it doesn't really matter too much. Like, yeah, of course, we'll probably get less trades because the market is moving a little more crazy, but we're still going to be able to profit in the market. So news like that actually doesn't really affect us realistically. If you're a normal worker working like a 9 to 5, yeah, it's going to affect you, because you might be losing your job, you might get laid off. But as long as you know how to read these markets, like for example here, we can take buys, like we've shifted to buys, right? Because the trend has already shifted. We were looking for sells earlier, now we shifted to buys. It doesn't make a difference. Price going up, we'll take buys. Price going down, we'll take sells. We just need to wait for those opportunities to come up. And that also goes hand in hand with taking these bad trades, because if you guys lose a trade, you know that you're going to be in the hole for like at least a couple trades, right? So that's why you want to be careful about avoiding these bad trades, so that you never really suffer any losses and you can just keep stacking up. Like this week, I've been super patient. I know it's only Tuesday, but I've been super patient. There's a lot of entries that came up, the pre-market, Asia session, and I've just been holding off. Today, though, I'm looking for at least like 1 or 2 trades. I think if you guys focus on just 1 or 2 trades per, not even per session, like maybe 1 or 2 trades during New York, and then maybe 1 trade during London or even pre-market, I mean, you should be fine. Because if you're doing 1%, and you have a big funded account, you should be perfectly good with stacking up from there. All right, so there's no entries here available, guys. Price is pretty much just back to this range. Let me go and mark up the high lows right here. News price is down there. I'm looking for any possible continuation, variation, etc. But we don't have one right here, right now specifically. So here we go as price pushes up higher. All right there, all right there, all right there. But you guys can see here that price is moving super directional. As long as price does not come back to this point right here by 8 o'clock, you can come to this point after 8 for whatever reason. If it wants to go below there after 8, then that's completely fine. But if it stays above this area, like as long as it doesn't come below opening price until 8, then we can see that price is continuing to move directional just like yesterday, which is perfect. Because now if this continues to happen, we can look for some more continuation entries tomorrow, right? Today, we were kind of afraid to take these continuation entries because we just weren't sure if price was going to keep pushing that way. But if this becomes the same thing that happens over and over again for the next couple of days, then this is going to be the new market conditions, right? Market's always evolving, guys. So what you have to do is you have to evolve with the market. You can't be, trading the same way every single day, even if the market is changing. During the summer, market was ranging a lot. So we took the K2SR entries that worked perfect for us. Now that price is moving directional again, we can go back to our other strategies. We can still apply the K2SR rejection, but we also have the opportunity to take, other types of trades. There's a high, is this considered continuation, Maddie? I'm just like looking at it right now. I mean, I guess this would be considered a continuation entry, no? Gotcha. Yeah, so there's a continuation entry right now, but it looks weak because of the candle. Yeah, like Maddie said, it looks weak because the green candle here is not, I mean, it looks like a hammer, or like an upside down hammer. So not one that I would necessarily be looking to take, but it does look like it does fit the possible criteria there if it was a better candle. So you don't really want to take these candles here that are too weak. I'll follow it though. I'll see if price does swing back up. Maybe I can make a late entry if it does come back up, because it might provide another continuation down lower. But yeah, I'd probably hold off on that. I was just kind of curious to see what Maddie had to say about it. Clean this up a little bit. And good thing we didn't take the trade there because I would have hit a stop loss, right? Here we go, as price comes back down. Looks like it's coming to test the opening, or not the opening, the news price right here. Yeah, Maddie also mentioned that it's overextended. I agree. Yeah, and like what Jonathan said got to be selective. Exactly. You have to be very selective about what entries you decide to take. You can't just take every single one. You have to weigh the pros and cons, identify that worst case scenario, best case scenario. Best case scenario here is price would trade the TP. Worst case scenario is that price would do this, would trace down, hit stop loss, and continue pushing up. This might be another, never mind. If it closed as a green candle, this would have been a double body, and it could have been a possible entry. This is not a double body. You can see that it's a little offset. Price to reject off this point. All right, so there are no zones around here. You go in the higher time frame, 5, 10, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hours. So there's no zones here at all. No zones there at all. And you guys can see how this fake out over here happened, right? So this continuation that I marked up right here, this pulled back, faked out, and pushed right back up. So if that was a case where would have taken it later, this would have been a full TP right there. If we made the late entry, because I was mentioning like price come down a little bit. If it came back up, I could make a late entry. I didn't take that late entry, obviously, but that's where you could have made the entry point from. Looks like price is now going to be ranging around this area now. So this is a new range right down the middle. I'll be looking for any possible entries here, continuations, high-low scalps. Probably not high-low scalp, maybe continuation or a triple confluence. Continuation, variation, triple confluence, three main strategies that I'm possibly looking at. I still want to take some K2SRs, but there's no zones around the area, so we can't even apply that if we wanted to. So I'm looking for a possible, well, we're not even going to get a variation here because we don't have a pending momentum. The next thing we can look for, or the only thing we can really look for here, is going to be a continuation entry. So we'll see how price pushes around. I'll try to give you guys a heads up if there's one that looks good and one that I possibly look like I'll possibly be looking to take. 7-11 right now. We still got a lot of time on the clock. Let me see if there's any other news here for the 4th. No news here on Forex Factory. Let's go to my FX book real quick. Economic calendar. So we don't have any other US news. We have news here at 8:30, but this is about it for US. So let's see if we can find some smooth moves around here. Looking over here at sentiment. Sentiment's starting to drop. So that's useful. Price is up, or the fundamentals are up 700 points. This is a lot. Like, this is a big jump up from what we're used to. Typically, you know, we're around like 100, 200 range. Yesterday and today, price has been up like at least 500, 600, 700 points, which is pretty high. This is like COVID numbers. Typically during COVID, it was up like 500 to 1,000 points. Everything here is very green. So we'll look for a continuation entry if we can find one. It's got to be a solid continuation entry though. It can't be something like this where it's too small, right? It's got to be at least a decently solid candle, like somewhat of a moderate candle. It doesn't have to be strong, but it's going to have to be decently sized. All right. Let's see what we got here. So we got, it's a bit of a weak candle right here too, Maddie. Do you see this continuation? The candles are getting weaker. It looks like it's losing a lot of volatility here. So we'll see where it's at. Yeah, this would fit your criteria, right, Maddie? Your double body. Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see if it lined up. I don't like candles like this where they're so iffy where you can't really see. It's a little difficult to really confirm it. Let's wait for the next one. Yeah, obviously, Maddie said we're obvious. We want to make sure it's obvious whenever you guys are looking. So there might be one right here, it looks like. So this might be one over here for a continuation. So if this here closes as a, I mean, I guess we call it like a decent candle. It doesn't have to be strong. It doesn't have to be really moderate. It has to be like, it can't be something like this. Like, it can't be a hammer or upside down hammer. It'd have to be like a decent green candle. And it doesn't look like we're going to be getting it, so that's fine. Got about 20 seconds left on this candle here. Volatility is pretty dead. Yeah, no entry off that. It also has a pending sell, like Maddie said. There's no volume. Yeah, it's pretty slow. So that would have been the entry there if we would have taken it, but held off on it. Volatility is just way too low right now. Yeah, it looks like it would have hit too. Yeah. Yeah, that would have been a good one right there. So this is exactly what we were looking for. We were looking for the continuation entry. So we're looking for continuation, meaning that price is already going up. So price is going up, right? We're just looking to continue this direction. So with this continuation right here, we're looking for price to come back down and provide a double body rejection, right? Like it did right here. This is a double body rejection that we're looking for. The reason why we're looking for this, and especially if it has a high low on it, because this is considered a reversal pattern. So you have a high low with a double body on it. This indicates that price is going to swing right back up, which is exactly what happened here. And this would have hit our TP right there if we did take it. So it's all good. You know, it happens sometimes where it looks iffy, we miss it, and then it wins, but we didn't take the trade. It's better be safe than sorry. It's just, you know, it's too, yeah, Maddie said he's trying to be as safe as possible, just watching and monitoring. So he's just being patient with it. So this is the current range right now. Just looking at this here, I'm just going to draw just to show you guys. This is the range that price is within. It's literally just going sideways now. Within this area, there's no news coming up at all. It's 7:16 though, so we have a lot of time till 8. Still looking for a continuation entry variation. There's not going to be a SR scalp here or SR rejection. There's no zones around here. Yeah, I'm going to go way up to the 4-hour and there's still no zones around that area. So regardless, there's not going to be any entries for us to take right there. This here doesn't line up, so there's not going to be an entry off this candle for a double body. David said 1 trade per day. Thank God, only profits. Yeah. So David's been sending me his profits every day. He's just been taking 1 trade. So today he took 1 trade, locked in 39 for the day. So nice work right there, David. Going up over here, he's locked in 47 yesterday, 18 the other day, 51 the other day. So he's just taking like 1 or 2 trades a day and he's locking in profits every single day. So this is a consistency that you guys should strive for, right? It's not huge profits, but he is locking in profits every single day. Been pretty good. So solid work right there, David. All right, so nothing going on here. Price is still ranging around this area. Same range that I drew earlier here on the clean chart. Price is really just going sideways. Yeah, no, definitely. Becky said, way to go, David. Yeah, and that's really a consistency that you guys should find. You know, the main thing is just finding couple wins here and there and avoiding as many losses as possible or all losses as possible. You know, if you guys think about it, if you take 1 trade a day and you don't lose a trade for like weeks, if not months, your profits are going to add up very quickly. So just a matter of time to see where this is going, but it's really just going sideways. There's no continuation here. See if there's anything else here for me to follow. Yeah, exactly. Jonathan said 1 trade a day keeps the 9 to 5 away. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it really does. Because you could basically make your, you know, a daily salary with like 1 or 2 trades here if you're on a decent size account. And if you're consistent, it's just like getting a paycheck at that point. That's kind of how I see it, guys. Like for me, I don't necessarily go for the huge profits. You'll see me make about 1,000 per trade, right? But I have multiple accounts. So that 1,000 would cover, you know, what I'd be making as an attorney a day easily. So it, you know, just adds up. I think you guys just have to link it to something else, right? I feel like a lot of people see people making like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 a day, and they feel like they need to make that much too. But if you just associate your profits with how much you would make at a normal job, like, you know, if you're working a normal job, like what does a normal job pay? I don't even know what minimum wage is anymore, like 18 bucks, 18 times 8. So you literally only have to make like 144 a day. you can make that with one trade easily, or two trades. So if you guys can associate this much profit with your account, you don't have to make 10,000 a day, right? Like if you could do this daily, you're making as much as a normal person would make at a normal job, even a higher paying job. Like, yeah, like Jonathan said that it takes him 2 weeks to make 1,200 at Amazon. So if you think about that, 1,200, you're working full time, you divide that by 80, it's 15 bucks an hour, right? So you do 15 bucks times 8 hours a day, you make 120. If you can make this much with one trade or two trades, you pretty much made, a day's salary. So you just got to keep the numbers in mind. I know a lot of you guys see these big numbers and profits that people post, and it kind of discourages you guys. But just stay in your lane. Like just focus on what you got to do to be profitable, and don't worry about what other people are doing. Because if you keep focusing on other people, you're never going to get any better. Comparing yourself to someone who's making like, 10, 20,000 a day. I don't even do that. So, just keep that in mind. All right, so here we go. As price pushes around. So we got a possibility of a variation entry coming up here. It's at news price though, so unfortunately, if we do get an entry at some point here, we're not going to be able to take it. It's really literally at news price, which is going to be one of the red flags. So let's see if price starts to come back down to earth over here. It's been up so far for so long. These zones over here are starting to delete. So here it's gone. All right, one more right here. Yeah, Patrick said, need this lower low to close a green candle. Let me check real quick. Yeah, we typically want it to push up higher. It's still over here at this news price. So even if we were to get an entry at this point, unfortunately, we couldn't take it. Yeah, it's like literally at news. So you guys don't want to take trades around these points because this is going to be a high area of manipulation. You'll see at this point here, price will do one of two things. It'll either shoot up or it'll shoot down. So just keep it in mind. All right, price is pushing up right here. It's still at news price though, so even if we get a pivot scalp, we get a buy signal or anything like that, it's not going to fit the criteria. You can see right here, price faked out. So this is the zone that I drew on the clean chart. Price dropped below, faked out right here, hold right back into the zone. All right, I wanted to swing back into the zone right here to range. Once it ranges within that area, we can start looking for any possible entries here for a continuation, even a variation if we can find something good. All right, so price is pushing up a little bit. One thing that I'd probably be looking for here as well would be a possible triple confluence. So price slowly makes its way up and we get price close above this point here. This could be a possible triple confluence. Looks like the volatility here did die quite a bit though. Let me measure this to see how wide the range is. It's about 1,000 pips, not too bad. Not great, but also not too bad either. Hey, Maddie, for your continuation entry, do you require the momentum signal to be there, or could it be pending? I'm just curious because I'm wondering if like we get a double body here and then there's no momentum, but the trend is bullish. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of what I thought too. So Maddie said for the continuation, the momentum signal needs to be there, which makes sense because you're just looking for it to retrace slightly and then continue pushing. Exactly. Yeah, Maddie said otherwise it'd be a regular variation V1. Gotcha. Makes sense. All right, so not much going on here. I mean, price is still bouncing around this area. So this is what I was telling you guys earlier. You don't want to trade her on news price because you can easily get screwed. Whether you're looking for a buy here or a sell, you can see how price is just going back and forth. You can easily just get stopped out or it'll spike one way or the other. So what might happen here is, say, for example, you take a buy, right? Price might spike down, hit your stop loss, pull right back up into here. If you're looking for a buy, same thing could happen in the opposite direction. Price can, or if you're looking for a sell, same thing could happen. Price can spike up, stop you out, and then come back below. And then just keep ranging around this area. It's just going to continue to range over and over again. All right. So here we go. It's tested the it's tested the news price like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 times so far. Got a buy signal right here. Still within the area though. See if it actually closes. Nope. Still having issues. So you can see this news price kind of acts like a magnet, right? It keeps pulling price right back down. It tries to push up, pulls it back down, comes back for another retest. Might not retest on this candle, but probably the next one. All right. We got the buy signal here closing. This would be a pivot scalp entry, but obviously we're not looking to take those just yet. Looks like it went straight to full profit too. Yeah, literally gapped a little bit, went straight to full profit right after. And these zones down here are pretty irrelevant. I'm just going to delete these because they're not really useful for us. I don't think price is going to come back down to this area. I mean, opening price is down there. As long as price stays above here, this is going to be the new area, or it's going to be considered, you know, a directional push, because this is a clean chart right here. So price pushed up, retrace, pushed up, retrace, pushed up, retrace, pushed up here in a consolidation. And at this point, price will either break down or break above. Once it breaks down and breaks above, it's going to go back into consolidation from there, basically from 8 to 10. Same pattern that played out yesterday. Yesterday is a clear example of like what we're looking for in the market. If you guys were on the live session yesterday, you guys saw it. If you guys were in the mentoring session, we also covered it too. I'll show you real quick. This is how the market typically moves. Not the 30th. Yesterday was the 3rd. All right, so yesterday was a perfect example as how normal market conditions move. So this was a hint that price was going to be moving how it normally does. So from 6:30 to 8, you guys can see that we had the bullish push right here, right? This is normal. This is typically why I trade from 6:30 to 8, because we get this almost every morning. From 8 to 10, we have a consolidation phase. You can see price just goes sideways right here. 10 to 12, we have a continuation or a reversal. It was a continuation here, continue pushing up higher. And then 12 to market close, we had the mid-market reversal right here. So once it hit 12 right here, price started to retrace down and reverse. for the mid-market reversal. So this is typically what I see right here: continuation of a push to the upside, then consolidation range, continuation or reversal. And if this reversal doesn't happen here, it typically happens at 12. So continuation right here, 12, reversal right back down. It's exactly what I'm looking at right here. So I have this marked up from 630 to 8. You can see price is pushing up, it's moving directional. It's probably going to consolidate a little bit before it pushes up higher. And then from here, back into consolidation. So 10 to 12, possibly look for continuation or reversal. If not, if the reversal doesn't happen here, then it'll probably happen at 12, right back down until market close right there. So, and this is all from experience because I've been trading US30 daily for like the past 3 years now on the live sessions. And we've seen this pattern happen over the past 3 years. Happens like almost every day. During normal conditions, except for summer. So summer and the winter holidays are the only times where the market starts to move kind of funky. It's because a lot of people are not in the market. Volatility is very low. But now that people are coming back into the market, we're getting the swing back in the direction that we're looking for. So it's just a matter of time. I mean, this is the first week that the market started moving like this. It's also NFP week. So we also have to keep in mind and decipher whether this is because of NFP or is this because the market is moving normal again. My guess is that it's a little bit of both. We have like increased volatility here because it's NFP, but we also have the directional movement because we are moving towards we're moving towards the fall season. So a little bit of both. We have a zone here that just came up. Let me check the 5-minute, 10-minute, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour. Yeah, there's not really much here right now. Dijon says, I'd be thinking my screen glitching when Sean zooms in and out. Yeah, I kind of do a little fast, so it kind of looks like the screen's glitching, but it's just me. All right, so we're looking for a possible continuation entry here. If price does drop below, possible reversal for a K2 high low scalp or no K2 SR rejection. But I think for the most part, we're probably going to be looking for a continuation. So we'll see where this goes here. All right. I'm just going to put these, now that the market's kind of moving directional, I'm going to put these high lows here just so that we can possibly see liquidity zones, right? Because there's going to be areas of liquidity right here. This hasn't established yet, so obviously nothing right there. But if it establishes a high here and price comes back down, like it's doing right now, this could possibly be a liquidity zone. Actually, no, broke right through it. All right, so it's just ranging. I mean, it's back into the same range that it's been in for the past almost hour now, it looks like. Yeah, about 40 minutes. 7:34 right now. Looking for any of these possible entries. I'm looking for a continuation here. If possible, clean this up a little bit. Don't want to have too much stuff on the charts. Not this one specifically. I'll keep updating them on here, but the other one I want to keep it a bit cleaner so we don't miss anything. All right. Not really much going on here. It's still, I mean, volatility is super low right now. I'm surprised it died down that quickly. I mean, it's not really much of a surprise though, because there's no news going on right now. The Fed doesn't speak until 8:45. So there just isn't anything going on in the market. It's just a lot of these movements aren't necessarily. So retail here dropped to 55. Yeah, it's pretty much flat right now. There's not really many people moving. I mean, the market makers already pushed price up pretty heavily. And then now it's kind of just flat. The good thing is that price is moving though. So see how price moved over here earlier this morning from 6:30 up until about 7 o'clock. Since this is the case here, we can start looking for these continuation entries or other entries as price continues to move up. Because if this is going to be the case like it was yesterday, now I marked up yesterday here too. If price continues to move directional like this from 6:30 to 8, we can take the continuations, variations, whatever type of entries we see here and just continue riding them up. Since price isn't necessarily ranging as much as it was before, the high-low, or not the high-low, the K2SR rejections are probably not going to come up as often, but we can look for these continuation entries. So we'll keep an eye out for it. So one right here, Maddie. Part of this drop. I think this is one of your continuation entries, right, Maddie? So we can possibly get this in for a late entry if prices come back up. I don't know if this is one that you would take, Maddie, right here. So I'll follow it. If price comes back up, I'll put like a buy stop right there just to catch it. See where it's at. It looks like a continuation entry right there. So let's see, I'll just put a buy stop there. If it swings up, I'll catch up and just ride it up with it. Price point for that is trying to get the price point here. 20, so 32.49. Let me see what price is over here. I just want to make sure that it aligns because I don't want to enter it or put a buy stop there and then it's like way off. This price right now. Let's see. 203. It looks like price is like super off from MT4. 249. Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm looking at the bid ask price. Yeah, I'm gonna have to enter it manually if it goes up. So if it goes up, I'm probably gonna have to enter it manually, guys, because I'm looking at the price here. The bid and ask price for currency.com is at 30. It's at 32.37. I'm looking at FTMO, it's at 32.06. So it's like, yeah, it's way off. So I'm gonna have to enter this manually. I'm waiting for it to swing back up here, guys. So it hasn't hit the stop loss yet. So it's still an active trade. It's still technically running. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for it to swing back up. So here are the two different things that I'm looking for. If it swings back up right here, then I'm going to enter a buy. I'm going to have to do it manually. If price comes below here and passes this area right here, then I'm just going to not take the trade. Because technically this trade is just, it's still running, it's still active, but it's like taking forever to hit. Typically these types of trades will hit right away. They'll hit like within the first couple of minutes or so, right? This one over here hasn't hit at all. It hasn't hit stop loss or TP. It's just going sideways for like a long time. So I'm looking for it to come back up. If it comes back up to this area, then I'll take it for a buy. I'm gonna have to watch it though because the pricing is so off. And it's gonna be hard to align it. Gosh, okay. Yeah, Patrick said that TradingView is lagging a bit behind MC4. Good to know. But I'll follow it. If I get in, I'll let you guys know. Just keep an eye out for this area. Look at these two areas right here. If price comes below here, I'm not going to take it anymore. If price comes above here, then I'll take it for a buy. Patricia said she's not sure she would take it. Yeah, I think I might hold off, Patricia, because it's been going on for a while now. So let's see. This entry here has been running for about, yeah, it's been running for some time now. So I'll follow it. See where it's currently at. Or I could find another one here. Because you might get another, like a second entry below it. It's going to keep going up within it. So let's see where it's at. It's got about 40 seconds left on this candle. Volatility is super low. Watching it right here. All right, so I'm in it right here, guys. I got into it. I'm just gonna let it run. So entry happened. I'm gonna have to watch it though. Man, this market is super slow, super dead. Let me see what else is going on here. So let me just analyze it on different time frames. Let's see, 3 minute. I mean, it's still ranging around this area too. Same range. It's in that area. I'm gonna go and set a alert there. So I'm just going to analyze it on different time frames, see where it's currently at. I mean, it's not really doing much on literally all the time frames. It's just going. Patrick said the Sean Yan indicator is in effect. Yeah, this market is just really slow. It's like I was expecting a continued push, but it's just kind of, I mean, not much is really going on here. It's ranging on pretty much all time frames, 10-minute over here as well. I don't even think there's any SRs around this area. Yeah, there's no SRs around this area at all. Let's see. Higher time frame right here too. Let's see if I can find anything on this side. I mean, there's nothing going on here on the 4-hour either. Check real quick. There's no zones here. I mean, there's one zone here. Yeah, I'm gonna look at market structure here on the 4-hour to see the zone right there where I was testing it. Another zone over here. But there just isn't much to look at here. Let's see. Let me go back to the 1 minute. Oh, fuck. Hit my stop loss. It's all good. Damn, that was a big drop right there. So it is what it is. I'm gonna eat the loss on that. I'll send my losses. I know I don't send losses too often, but this thing just spiked down super heavy. So it's all good. I ate the loss. If you guys took it, unfortunately, we ate the loss on that. If you guys didn't take it, it's all good. It was a risky entry. I was just taking a chance on there because I figured it was probably going to push up even higher, but this thing dumped how many? Yeah, 500 pips off that one candle. Should have went with my guts on that because I did expect it to. I mean, it felt like a 50-50 trade, but I honestly I followed into that trade there. I was waiting for it to swing up. Looks like it went into profit slightly, and then it came right back down. So it's all good. It is what it is, but I'm going to move on to the next one. So let's see if we can find something else here to pretty much recover from that. Yeah, that's a big spike right there. There's a zone right here. If this becomes a case and price swings below here, then we can still get a wick rejection off this here. So price might come down, come back up for the retest, provide a wick rejection off the structure, and continuation lower. So it's all good. I'll take a screenshot of my trade there to show you guys that unfortunately I should have just avoided the trade. I should have listened to Patricia there. But it's all good. We wouldn't know until we actually take them, right? Sometimes you just got to take a risk, eat the loss. That's just, it's part of the game. All right. So here is my loss for that. A loss on that FOMO move. Stop loss. Next one. Yeah. So I just want to be transparent with you guys. I did eat a loss on that trade. You know, I'm not trying to hide anything here. But we'll look for this next one here. Hopefully I can lock in a couple wins here just to offset that loss. But it's all good. Losses happen. Looking over here at the trend meter, it's still currently blue right now. So once it turns red, we can start looking for sells. However, if it doesn't, we can continue looking for buys here if it turns green. So main thing to look out for here is going to be the trend meter down here. It's currently blue. If it turns red, we can start looking for sells. If it turns green, we'll have to wait for it to push above here, retrace, and provide an entry off this structure here. Price is just going sideways. There's not really much going on here. It's a continued sideways move. Yeah, so Patricia said done for the day, don't like the market right now. She locked in a total profit of 3,122. Yeah, I don't like the market either, Patricia. I should listen to you on that one, but it's all good. Sometimes I need to eat a loss just to like realize that the market is unforgiving, right? And just keep me back into it. Just kicks me back into focus, because I haven't had a loss in a while, guys. Like, I mean, if you guys have been following me for a while, we haven't had many trades, but I also haven't had a loss in a while. So losses kind of just wake you up sometimes. This will probably keep me from yawning, and I'll be better moving forward, more focused and more alert with these entries here. But yeah, Patricia over here locked in 3,122. Nice work there. I'm gonna copy this here as well, just so that gets posted later on. Patrick over here as well. He said, going to call it a day. Market's getting squirrely, locking a total profit of 2,236. Nice work, Patrick. Yeah, I know. Overall, you guys are doing pretty good, though. So it's not bad at all. Patricia did pretty good so far. She said she's not liking the market. I agree. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else over here. Nice work, Maddie. Maddie's trading some gold today, locking some profit. I'll post it up shortly. Sisuk over here as well, doing pretty good. Sisuk right here too. And again, right here. All right, so looking over here at the profit. So Maddie over here was trading gold, locking a total profit of 2,139. Nice work, Maddie. Sisuk over here locked in 11,703. Sisuk again, 13,000. And I think that's it for right now. If you guys have more profits post up, feel free. Otherwise, you know, we'll keep looking for some more entries here, but there's just nothing for us to take at the moment. It's going to focus on, you know, these quality entries. It looks like price is not moving directional again. Like, it was moving directional for a while, and then it's been ranging for like the past hour now. So I don't know if this is going to be, you know, a one-time thing due to the NFP week, or if it's going to start moving directional again. But you just got to test the waters. There's no way to test the waters with it unless taking risk. So it's got to take risk here to see if price is going to be moving. But yeah, down that thing spiked us out and then it pushed right back up. Now it's pushing back down below here. So it's right back at news price. Price pretty much came down to news price and now it's just going sideways. This is basically what was happening over here. Sideways movement, push up, push down, sideways movement. I'm waiting for the trend meter to change. It's getting close to 8 though, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get any other entries from now until then. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, I'll keep looking for entries here, but it doesn't look like the trend meter here is going to change to red anytime soon. If it does, then great. We can look for price or retrace up here, reject off the structure, provide a sell entry to take. But at the moment, there just isn't anything for us to take right now. There's no continuation entries here for a sell because the trend meter is still not red. So I feel like the main catalyst here is going to be the trend meter. Once it turns red, we can start looking for certain entries, but right now it's just currently blue. There's no other zones around this area either. 10-minute, nothing there. 5-minute, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour. Yeah, there's nothing around here. So this is the closest zone that we have at the moment. See where I'm at. See. Man, this market sucks. I was hoping yesterday the market was looking so good that I thought it was going to continue today, but this market, I mean, it was good for like a while. So it was good for maybe like 30 minutes. And then for the past hour now, it hasn't been doing anything. Just going sideways. I mean, it's the same range as earlier. So the same range that we drew earlier right here, technically it's still within this range. It's just, it just continues to fake out. So for example, right here, this was the original range. You can see how it faked out, pushed back up. Did it again right here, faked out right here, pushed back up. Again, right here, range pushed down a little lower. And it's just doing the same thing. It dropped below here, faked out. And then right back up. So it's not really doing too much. It just keeps going around this area. The area is going to be the news price right here. Trend mirror still hasn't turned red. It's still blue right now. So there's not much for us to look. I mean, also there's no news right now. The next news event comes up at about in about 50 minutes. So I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for me to have one of those days where I stay on a little later past 8, but today's not that day. There's no volatility right now. Market's super dead, super slow. The Fed doesn't speak until 8:45. If the Fed was speaking at 8 o'clock, then I'd probably stay on because we're going to get some volatility, but he's not speaking until 8:45. So I'm not going to sit around for 45 minutes for, another dead market because the market's going to be pretty slow. If you guys do decide to come back and trade, it looks like 10 o'clock might be a good time to come back because it looks like Fed Jefferson speaks at 8:45, then Fed Daily speaks at 10 o'clock. So with that said, market might be dead from like 8 to 10, or it might be picking up a little bit when Fed member Jefferson speaks, but around 10 o'clock, it might pick up even more. Looking at the news for tomorrow, we have pre-market news, ADP non-farm employment change. Surprisingly, right here, it's anticipating to be bullish, positive news, but I think it's going to be negative. So I don't see this being the case because the JOLTS job openings were also negative too. So we have that. We have trade balance at 5:30 pre-market. We have final services PMI at 6:45, ISM services PMI at 7. Crude oil inventories at 7:30. I think that's it for tomorrow. So we have some news events tomorrow, which will probably push price around. Hopefully, beneficial. This is a pivot scalp that's looking like it's going to possibly close there. But it's a bit of an iffy candle. It's not really closing. It's kind of just bouncing around, so I'm not going to take it. It'll probably close at the last second. And these entries here are still kind of risky. Looks like it's going to hit though. Yeah, Patricia said Sean, get off. Yeah, I'm looking to like force these trades here now because I'm starting to get in that mindset where I need to make the money back from that loss earlier that I FOMO'd into. But yeah, I'm not going to take this trade right here. I'm just going to hold off. So it looks good, but I'm not going to take it. And it hit it right there. So it's all good, guys. It's getting close to 8. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, we'll be wrapping it up for the day. The trend meter is now turning green. So if the trend meter turns green, you can start looking for some possible entries here. Price pushes up, retraces, provides a quick rejection off structure, and allows for a K2 SR rejection entry. So if you guys see something like that, great. If not, then I would just sit out the market. The market is not moving directional at all. It's not like nothing how it was yesterday. So you can see right here, it's been pretty much ranging. It broke out below here, faked out, pulled back into the range, and now it's just going sideways again. So there's not really much here for you guys to really work with. It's just a sideways move. Looking over here at yesterday, it was pretty much good until the very end of the session. So price is pretty much going directional all day up until 8, and then it started ranging from there. So yesterday was way better than today. Unfortunately, today was a long range. It pushed up initially, and then now it's just going sideways. So this is about it. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. Otherwise, I would probably just sit out the rest of the day. If you guys want to really trade again, I would probably come back around 10 when the Fed starts speaking, because that will cause volatility in the market. But for right now, I think this is probably the best time to just sit out and wait for a better trading day to come along, which might be tomorrow. So other than that, guys, have a great rest of your day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email or message me on Telegram. Otherwise, I will see you guys here tomorrow, same place, same time, as we pick back up for Wednesday.